Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Buppet. Welcome back to the Harry Bash. This is game 2 of the grand finals. I will remind you, this is a best of 5. So Petraeus is currently 1 up, but he still needs to win 2 more games to take this series, and Arthur still has plenty of time to get back into it. He's doing a couple of funny things. Last game, we saw a very Colossus light army going against Petraeus' very Hydralisk heavy army the previous game, and I'm still not sure I understand Arthur's thinking behind that. He ended up going for mass stalkers against the Hydras, which you might understand if Arthur had a lot of weapon upgrades, if he was running out stalkers with level 2 upgrades or level 3 upgrades. Maybe he could try and make that work versus mass Hydras. It's still not the best plan, but if you got a lot of weapon upgrades, maybe. But he had no weapon upgrades. He had no upgrades at all. Petraeus had 1 weapon, 0 armor, so he didn't have much better, but just the fact that it was Hydras versus Stalkers really gave Petraeus such an awesome advantage. And the thing is, Arthur had the potential to build Colossus. He built 1, and then he didn't build any others, despite the fact that Petraeus had like 20 Hydras on the map or something like that. So, yeah, I am left a little bit confused at that. But regardless, Arthur has taken a game down, and we will see if he can get his head back into the game for this game, and push Petraeus around a little bit, because, yeah, I mean, Petraeus is... I mean, Arthur has been owning Zerg players all tournament. He took out Petrify, he took out King Kong. King Kong definitely one of the best in the tournament, but I mean, Arthur took him out in the quarterfinals. Very impressive. And yeah, now against Petraeus, he just needs to do exactly what he did. I actually got to go back and see what he did, man. It was... yeah, it was a lot of air stuff, actually. He really favoured his air and went into a lot of void rays and stuff like that. He did put out the Colossus against some sort of muta play that King Kong was trying to do in the second game. I can't remember the details. Go back and watch it. But yeah, I mean, he did a great job. He does like using his air units. And maybe he needs to start getting him out in this game. And we'll see how that goes. As Petraeus, I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen him versus a Protoss in this tournament. I don't know if we've seen him versus a Protoss in any of the other tournaments either. It was Zerg all over the place. It was a lot of ZVZ and not a lot of anything else. But it's going to be interesting. Oh, the Sentry going the wrong way. The Ling moves around. Very, very nice move from Petraeus. Keeping away from that guy. Attacking whatever he can. I don't know if he's going to get a kill. My guess would be no, but... he's definitely annoying Arthur quite a bit. I could have headed it off with the Sentry on this side, but there you go. The Sentry's coming in, doing a bit of damage, but the Ling manages to get out of range. Does get it trapped by workers. Very nice. So that thing goes down. Petraeus going for another relatively fast third base. Not super fast, not as fast as the previous map, but relatively fast. And yeah, that's going to be awesome stuff for Mr. Him. For Petraeus, sorry. And yeah, Arthur's already got his second base down, getting a couple more gateways early on, choosing not to go for an early Stargate. So he's definitely got a lot of gas. He's got the double assimilators going down. Maybe a Twilight Council followed up by something else. I do not know, but yeah, so far it looks like he's focused a lot more on other stuff. He goes another gate. There's another 2 gateways. So he's got 3 gateways at the moment, building 3 more. And if he gets another one, then he is going 7 gate off 2 bases. Holy crap. That is 5 gateways, and he's already got 3. So he's going 1 above. He's going for an 8 gate off 2 bases. And, oh man, Petraeus needs to know about this. Needs to figure this out ASAP. I don't think he knows. He knows about this gateway. He knows about the 2 at the front. He does not know about the other 5. If he doesn't figure this out, he's going to continue to build workers. He's going to continue to macro up a huge army of workers. And that's not the sort of army he needs right now. He needs a massive amount of other units. He needs to just go balls to the wall roaches. Maybe start getting out some Hydras And yeah, I would say just roaches everywhere and rush for hydras, because man, he is in some trouble right now. But he does have a couple of hints right here. He's not seen any Stargate units come out. He saw the hallucinated Phoenix, hasn't seen an Oracle, hasn't seen a real Phoenix, hasn't seen any of them attacking his Overlords. The Overlords are right out there, so they haven't been attacked yet. So that's probably got him a little bit worried that he hasn't seen a Phoenix attacking his Overlord. And yeah, here we go. The pylon's coming down. A bunch of Stalkers and Sentries coming out. Arthur doing a very, very nice job. He's actually up to 49 workers. And the Ling trying to go in, but this is fully blocked off here. This is even more interesting behaviour. Arthur hasn't left anything behind. So to sort of keep this base blocked. So he's obviously pulling everything out. And here he goes, the main army coming in. Petraeus has got a bunch of stuff. He's been building mainly roaches and lings. He hasn't actually been pumping up his workers, so he's obviously got wind. Something was going on. He's building a crap ton of roaches. I guess there wasn't enough time to get hydra or anything like that, but he's definitely building a ton of stuff. Meanwhile, Arthur just massively getting a huge army. He's still under Petraeus in terms of army supply, which is interesting, but I mean, with all of these force fields, with all of these Stalkers, he's definitely got some great options to try and manhandle the Zerg army into the position that he wants. And we will see how this is actually going to go, because of course this is a, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it could work out still, because of course Petraeus hasn't been building any workers. So even if Arthur sort of gets knocked back right now and loses a bunch of stuff, as long as he kills a bunch of Petraeus' stuff, then he's still in fairly good shape. So here he goes, going to do a pincer. These guys trying to get some stuff. Actually did some damage to the pylon. Here he goes, going in. Looks like Petraeus going for a nice flank right here. He's flanking in all positions, trying to force field him out, but there's a lot of ground to cover. And it does look like Arthur is sort of just pinned in there. He's going to run out of energy for his sentries soon enough. Roaches are streaming in between the gaps, focusing on the sentries. The sentries are starting to go down. And Arthur does not look like he's going to make it happen right here. It's his forces are withering down. And yeah, his income, which was never extremely on, it's okay. But not enough to just pump continuously off 8 gateways. Nowhere near enough. So he's going to be banking off right there. And now Petraeus, feeling good. I expect that he will be getting a crap ton of workers right now. Maybe a 4th base. Really push out nice and hard. He sort of showed that he can handle whatever Arthur can throw at him in the early game. And there we go. 8 workers coming out at a time. We'll see exactly how this turns out. But Petraeus is looking like he's firmly in command of the flow of this game. I mean, Arthur went for that very, very sneaky 8-gate attack, went into Petraeus' base, expecting to just, I don't know, steamroll him, I guess. I mean, 8 gates off 2 bases, that's a steamroll maneuver. But Petraeus just took it and just fought back. Didn't really take any losses other than unit losses, which he definitely gave back in a major amount. So Petraeus just took the attack, just kept on rolling. He's got a ton of workers coming out. His macro is going to go through the stratosphere very, very soon. And Arthur is just sort of moving on, I guess. He's got a robotics facility. He's unfortunately a little bit supply capped there, but yeah, continuing to get his stuff going. Thinking about a 3rd base fairly soon. Getting a bunch of Stalkers over there to clear this off. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be covering it. I think it probably will be, but yeah, that is annoying. Obviously, Petraeus expecting Mr. Arthur to go for a 3rd base extremely fast after falling back there, but yeah, Arthur not really. He's saving up now, and I think he'd like to get one, but Petraeus is doing whatever he can to sort of hold that off, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. Both of these bases just being knocked back so far. This guy unfortunately doesn't have burrow, but here we go. A pretty, no, not an engagement. Arthur just saying, look, this is my army. Get the hell out of here. I don't want you here anymore. And Petraeus is like, yep, fine, I'm out of here. We will meet again some other day. And here we go. We got Swarm Host coming out for Petraeus. So he obviously feels like he's in a pretty good position. He's got a nice defensive setup here 4 bases, and he's not in any hurry. He feels like he's in a very strong position, so Swarm Hosts are going to buy him a lot of safety in this game. So he just gets the Swarm Host out, and he can slow things down to his pace. And his pace is just massive amounts of macro. And once he's got all that macro going out, he just sort of sit back, relax, and Arthur's just he's got to catch up on the macro, man. I mean, he's got to get a 3rd base. And at this point, I don't know if I'd consider a 4th base, but I'd be thinking about it. When you see Swarm Hosts on the map, you got to be thinking about that sort of stuff. You got to be thinking, how do I get ahead? How do I get into this game? But I don't think Arthur's even thinking about a 3rd base. He's thinking about moving in with this army and doing a ton of damage. Now, granted, he's not fighting against Hydras anymore, but he is fighting against Swarm Hosts, and these guys are notoriously hard to kill right here, and they shoot straight through the force fields, man. So here he goes. He's going to try and do something. I assume there's an Overseer in here somewhere. The Swarm Hosts are taking damage. Going to be running out of here, but a fair few of them actually getting destroyed. And the Infestation Pit going to get wiped out. So Petraeus not going to be happy about that. And Arthur basically just steamrolling his way through here. No upgrades again, but he's got a ton of forces right there. And Petraeus, I mean, not really holding off here. The Swarm Hosts, they were up, but they never really got that massive mid-map presence that you see from Swarm Hosts, where you know where the enemy is going, you send a crap load of locusts at him, and it becomes a to and from game. I mean, Arthur came in too quickly, and the locusts just weren't ready at that point. So he's sending the roaches in. He's starting to throw these guys back a bit. Arthur is taking some damage, but he's slowly moving behind a wall of force fields, slowly doing a bunch of damage, and I don't think he's going to be able to take out anything. Well, anything other than the 4th base he already took out, obviously, which was a pretty significant hit, but I just come back to the fact that he's still 1 base down. He's still only on 2 bases, and if Arthur thinks that he can send these Stalkers in there and win with this army, then I gotta tell you, man, this is not gonna happen right here. He's gonna move in, he's gonna do some damage like he already did, and then he's gonna get whittled down by constant reinforcements from Petraeus, and eventually he's gonna get owned. He can take out the Roach Warren here, which is a very, very, very nice play. He's actually focusing on the Evo chamber right there, hoping to get that down. I think he's basically out of energy as far as the sentries are concerned, and this is when he starts to get owned right here. Is without force fields, he's just going to get absolutely owned. Getting the Warp Prism out there, warping in units, but I don't think it's going to help in the long run. I think that Petraeus has this right here. Here we go, the Locust coming out, and Arthur has no answer for this many Locusts. He's just going to be running, and I don't think that he's going to be looking back. So, going to get some creep out while he's down there. And, yeah, look at this. Petraeus already sending Queens over to get creep spread out there. So, he knows that Arthur is running for his life right there. And yes, the question I have to ask is, how is Arthur not getting a 3rd base right now? I mean, look at this income right here. He's got 50. He's down on both counts because he's only mining with 6 of them right here. And I gotta say, it's like he's not trying at the moment. I mean, he's doing a lot of moving around with the Stalkers. He's trying to shoot stuff, but as far as a Masters level game, I don't know. It just doesn't look like he's trying right here. Maybe he's tried to build a 3rd base constantly over here, but I mean, a player at Arthur's level, getting an Observer over here and a couple of Stalkers while controlling the main army is not an impossibility by any stretch of the imagination. He can easily do it. And the fact that he hasn't tells me that he's just doesn't want to do this anymore. Which is, I mean, it does happen. I mean, the end of tournaments, and yeah, you've been playing for like 4 or 5 hours, or you've been, more likely you've been playing for an hour and you've been waiting for 3 hours because everybody's taken forever, and you're just like, meh, whatever. But, you know what? It's, yeah, so I guess we can sort of assume that on Arthur's part, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what other conclusion to draw from the fact that he hasn't got a 3rd base yet, because it really, really is super necessary at this point if he wants to win this game. And all I can surmise is that he's just, I don't know. I do not know, but Petraeus, man, full bore, 100% pedal to the metal. He is not giving up. He is not sitting back. He is looking to take this game out. And yeah, I think he's going to own this right now, because I seriously do think that Arthur is just like meh at this point. So there we go. Knocking down the pylon. Well, that's probably why he couldn't build a third base. He was kind of blocked off right here. Maybe he needed to get back before he could actually send the guy out to build a third base. But come on, that's no excuse. So anyway, moving out. Looks like he's going to get a third base now. Better late than never, but maybe not in this case, because yeah, I don't know. I think he's screwed either way. So here we go. Pylon coming down. Can't build it here, I don't think. I don't know. Anyway, what's Petraeus got? He's got a ton of swarm hosts. He's been getting the hydras out. He's got 2-2 on both of them. Arthur has 0-0. This game is pretty much a foregone conclusion, in my opinion. We've got a massive army, 146 over 77. Income is still pretty much even, but Petraeus is doing so much with it, I don't think it really matters. And there we go. Moving in. And yeah, Petraeus is happy to take it slow right here. He knows how much of a good position he's in, and he's happy just to sort of sit back, relax, make sure his macro is right up to scratch, make sure he's getting all these upgrades that he needs, make sure he doesn't run into like a fleet of Dark Templar or anything like that. All the workers, man. What are all the workers doing out there? I got no idea. He was obviously long distance mining here because he's run out of things over there. But here we go. The main army coming in, force fielding a bunch of hydras, which is not a bad play. But I mean, at this point of the game, just nah. So there we go. Game done. Petraeus taken out another win, and he's now one game away from winning. And in all honesty, I'm not sure that Arthur is going to win this tournament anymore. I think he's just sort of run out of batteries, maybe. Something like that. But we'll see. Anything can happen in the third game. Maybe he's going to cannon rush his way to victory. We have seen Petraeus deal with cannon rushes. Or have we? Maybe that's another Zerg player. I don't know. But regardless, well, Arthur's got one chance left to pull something out. And you know what? Most of the time I hate to see cheese, but if Arthur cheese Petraeus right now, I would be like, at least he's still in this game. At least he still wants to win, because right now I'm not even sure he does. But anyway, moving on, and we will see what happens in game number 3 coming up tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. This has been Hairy Muppet.